Hi, this is JP Presvento, the Foxy 6 EdTech Coordinator, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite Google tools, Google Forms. Google Forms is a tool inside of Google Drive that gives users the ability to create web forms that look like this. They can have a variety of different types of questions. These web forms can be quizzes, they can be evaluations, they can be surveys, registration forms, sign-in forms, inventories, or a wide variety of other types of forms. They're very easy to create, they're very user-friendly, and all of the data collected from a Google form will be automatically sent to one spreadsheet that's created automatically, with each response having its own row and each question having its own column. So I want to go ahead and show you how to create a Google form, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in this folder I have in my drive called G Forms. So anytime you want to put a form or any Google Doc into a specific folder, just go ahead and click on the folder to open it up. And now over on the left side of my screen, I'm going to click Create and select Form. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that this form is going to be used for a quiz over a chapter of a book that my class is reading. The first thing I'll do is up at the top left, click where it says Untitled Form and give my form a name. So we'll go ahead and call this one TKAM Chapter 1 Quiz. The next thing I want to take a close look at are the form settings. I want you to notice that there are three settings here. Require Foxy 6 schools login to view the form, automatically collect respondents' Foxy 6 username, and show progress bar at the bottom of the form. So what I like to do, if I'm giving my students a quiz, I will leave this first box checked. If I'm using this form and there'll be potentially be people outside the district or who don't have their Google ID set up yet, I'll uncheck this form. So since this is going to be a quiz, I'm going to leave it checked. The next item on here, automatically collect respondents' usernames. This is something that I do not want to check if I'm giving a quiz. As of right now, September 2014, if you check this box, so what you'll do, you'll automatically collect the username of whoever takes the quiz, but there's something else that it'll do too. So I'm going to go ahead and click on View Live Form, and anytime you're working on your form and you want to see what it will look like when people are filling it out on the web, you can go ahead and click View Live Form. I want you to notice here it says your username, and that's me, Presvento at foxy6.org, will be recorded when you submit this form. If that's not me, I can sign out. But what I really want to show you guys is right here. Send me a copy of my response. So this option will be available for users anytime they fill out a form that has that box automatically collect the username checked. So in theory, a student could check this box and have a copy of all the questions and the answers they select sent to them. So if you're using this Google form for a quiz, that would in theory ruin the validity of your assessment, because a kid could have it sent to their email and forward out the question and all their answers to their friends. So if I'm using this Google form for a quiz, I'm going to make sure I uncheck automatically collect usernames. The next item down here, show progress bar at the bottom of the forms page. I'll go ahead and check that if I'm going to have multiple pages, and I'll show you in a minute how to include a page break. So when you're making a quiz on Google Forms, you can type in the form description if you need to have any instructions. Select the best answer to each of the following questions. On a Google Forms quiz, I will always make question 1 the student's name. Some teachers I know like to format it like this. They'll format it as class period dash last name comma first name. that makes the data easier for the teacher to sort. They can sort it by class period and alphabetical. Then in the help text, this will be any additional text that you need to include to kind of help them answer the question. So I would put i.e. 8 Presidento John. Then the next item over here is the question type. So I'm going to go ahead and click this arrow next to question type. And you see I have a wide variety of different question types I can select. In this case, I'm going to select text because I want their name to be a spot where they can write their name. Finally, there's this box that says required question. Next to a student's name, I'll always make that question required. And I'll go ahead and hit done. So you'll notice the asterisk next to the question denoting its requirement. After I create the question, I'll hover over it and you'll see these three boxes: edit, duplicate, and delete. To add another question to this quiz, I'm going to go ahead and click the drop down arrow next to add item, and you'll see the variety of different question types you can add. Let's go ahead and add a multiple choice question. Now, one question that I often am asked is, how do you make a true-false question in Google Forms? So to make a true-false question, we'll go ahead and select multiple choice like I just did. We'll write our question. Harper Lee is the author of To Kill a Mockingbird. Then I'll make option 1 true and option 2 false. Then you can decide if you want to make the questions required or not. I typically do not make them required because, just like the hard copy quizzes I would give when I was in the classroom, students sometimes didn't answer a question. When I'm finished, I'll click done, and I can go on continuing to add questions to my quiz. In which point of view is this chapter written? And I'm hitting tab twice after I add an option. That'll take me to a new box. Or I can just click in the new box. And then I'll click done when finished. So there are a few other things you can add to your Google Forms quiz to make it, I guess, a little bit more interactive almost. The first thing you can add, I'll go ahead and click add item, and you can add an image. So maybe you want to ask questions about a picture. So I'll go ahead and click image, and then I'll click choose an image to upload. So I'm assuming that I already have a picture on my computer to use. And we'll just go ahead and use this image I have on the desktop. So I found the picture on my computer, and then it automatically inserted into the form. This is a pretty large file, so I'll click on it, and that'll give me the ability to resize the picture. Then notice I can center align it, right align, or left align. Then there's an image title. So here, I would go ahead and probably put answer questions 4 through 6 using the picture below. And then I'll click done. So then I'll put the next 3 questions would deal somehow with this picture. You notice you can also add a YouTube video using the same method. Now it would have to be a YouTube video, and since currently YouTube is blocked for students, that's an option that you might not want to take advantage of right now. The other thing you can do to jazz up your form a little bit is change the theme. So I'm going to go ahead and click change theme to the right of edit questions. And you'll notice a window pane pops up on the right, and you have a variety of different themes which you can select. To select a theme, and I'll select this one called homework, just click on it. You'll notice the theme is applied to that form. You can also click the customize button, and you can have some options to make it a little bit more, make your theme a little bit more unique. When you're finished with the theme, go ahead and click edit questions, and that'll take you back to the question view. And the last thing I want to show you is all the way down at the bottom there's a confirmation page. You can personalize this message, maybe to say thank you for sharing your knowledge with me. Smiley face. You can give users the ability to submit another response, and obviously if this is a quiz, I would assume you don't want them to do that. You can publish and show a link to the form results. So if this is maybe some feedback you're getting from a class, you might want to select this. If it's a quiz, you obviously want to leave that unchecked. And allow responders to edit responses after submitting, and that's going to be totally up to you. Now that I'm finished creating my form, I have to share it with the intended audience. If my intended audience is students for this quiz, I'll go ahead and click this blue link that says Send Form, and that's up in the top right corner. And here it'll say Send Form via email. So if I have groups set up through Gmail contacts, I can type in the name of the group. If I don't have that set up, I can simply type in the usernames who I want this quiz to go to. Then notice here you can check Include Form in Email. So when they get the email, there will literally be the form inside of their email that they can complete. And then you can click Send. The other way to share this form is to copy this link. And then you can put this link in an email to whomever needs to fill out the form, along with a low description of it. So once our form has been created and it's been filled out by whomever needs to fill it out, we can take a look at the data. So let me go ahead and go to this folder, and I'll go ahead and look at. You'll notice that here's the form, and the spreadsheet with the answers is created right below it. So we'll go ahead and click on that spreadsheet with the responses. And you'll see that there's a timestamp and at the time the user submitted the form. And then each user has its own row. Each question has its own column. And you can manipulate this spreadsheet the same way you would manipulate any other spreadsheet. In a separate tutorial, I will show you how to self-grade quizzes using Google Forms and a Google Drive add-on called Flubberoo. This has been JP Presveno, the Fox C6 EdTech Coordinator, showing you how to use Google Forms. Thanks, and have a great day.